What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you had a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH. I honestly can say I don't blame Sonny at first for being skeptical of Ava. Because with Ava, it's like you always have to be on your toes with her, be on your guard. Because you never know what agenda Ava has. But I do believe Ava was being very genuine in that conversation with him about taking Avery for a few days and stuff. You know, so that way Sonny didn't have to worry about her. She would be taken care of, obviously, because she would be with her mom. Of course, Sonny was like, well, you can take her, but I don't want her at Windermere. And I can't say, now that, I can't say I blame Sonny for. You know, for not wanting his daughter at Windermere. Because we all know the craziness that has happened at Windermere over the years. And this little bootleg marriage that Ava's in with Nicholas is not good for any child. So I can't say I could fault Sonny for that. Because who would want their child at Windermere? You know what I mean? Like, Windermere, nope, it ain't child safe. It's not child proof. You know what I'm saying? That place to me is not fit for a kid. It's a lot of different tunnels, a lot of cycles be up in there. You got the catacombs. It's just a lot of mess over there. So I wouldn't want no child over there. So I can't say I blame Sonny for that. But, you know, Ava was basically being genuine. She's gonna, I guess, go to the cabin, take Avery to the cabin in the woods or whatever. But my thing is, why not take Avery to the penthouse? She still has the penthouse. Unless she's renting that out or something, but I would have just went back to the crib, like to the original spot. That's what I would have did, but I digress. So anyway, moving on from that. So Felix, Kevin, and Franco are shocked as shit to see that Britt is their new boss. She's the new chief of staff. She's the new HBIC. Basically, they were wondering what her agenda was, but Britt was like, Cyrus basically made her an offer that she could not refuse. I mean, I can understand why everybody's shocked about her being chief of staff, because at the end of the day, Britt is a good doctor, but she's definitely not qualified to be chief of staff. Let's be honest. She's nowhere near qualified for that position. I mean, let's just be clear. Franco basically did not want Britt in town making trouble for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, he was trying to be protective of everyone in the hospital. He didn't want her causing no trouble. But it's a little too late for that, because the chick has already caused some trouble. She demoted my boo, Epiphany. She got Elizabeth working the satellite division or whatever, working in the satellite unit. Basically, where she only gets 2 shifts per week, which ain't shit. We all know that. 2 shifts? Please. And Britt basically told Franco that she was back to do her job, and that was it. And reconnect with some people or someone. So of course Franco was worried about the art therapy department, which is his department. You know, he's an art therapist, as we all know. So obviously he's going to be worried about his job. But Britt basically said that she had to double check the budget, the hospital budget, and she may need to downsize and get rid of some non-essential areas in the hospital. So you know that could mean trouble for the art department. So Franco may be out of a job. And that would be sucky at this point, because Elizabeth basically has been demoted, and Franco may lose his whole department. He may lose his position. That would be a horrible time for them right about now. Even though Franco and Elizabeth's financial issues don't make too much sense to me, because Franco made good money. Franco made really good money on his last portrait. And Elizabeth has been a surgical nurse for years, and surgical nurses make really good money. So, especially in New York. So I don't see how they could be broke, but I guess. So anyway, Kevin was pissed. He was basically blaming Cyrus for all the problems at the hospital. And basically, Kevin knows what's going on. He knows that Cyrus is only using Britt as his pawn to do all his dirty work. And Elizabeth was in agreement with that, and she felt like Cyrus was pretty much trying to get rid of all the older people that's been at the hospital for all these years, because they know how that hospital is supposed to run, and that's what he wants. He wants to get rid of everybody who's going to be a hindrance on him running the hospital, because all the older people are definitely going to put up the biggest fight against him, and that's what he didn't want. So that's why he's demoting people. That's why he's firing people. That's why he's just throwing his weight around, because especially with the older people at the hospital, because all these newer people and stuff that's just recently hired at the hospital or just started, they're not going to put up much of a fight like Monica or Bobby or Epiphany or Elizabeth, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? All those people are going to put up one hell of a fight at that hospital because they've been there for years. And that's what Cyrus did not want. He wanted to avoid that. So, of course, he wants to demote and fire, do whatever he can, basically, to have full autonomy at that hospital. And Liz and everybody else is seeing right through it. They see what the game is. So, anyway, Britt, she catches up with Julian. And basically, she wants to pick up where they left off when she, before she left town. And Julian basically was like, I'm not with it. Julian was like, I'm not interested. He was like, basically, he has no interest in her. So Felix is over there eavesdropping on their conversation. And he basically told Kevin that Britt was definitely up to something. I said, she is. It's Britt. Come on now. We all know Britt always has an agenda. That's not a secret. You know what I'm saying? It is not a secret. And I'm surprised she ain't turning up pregnant by Julian at this point. You know what I'm saying? Or, they done had some good sex a few months ago. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't knock her up. Unless she got a bun in that oven and she ain't telling Julian about it. But I would think that she would be showing if she was pregnant. So anyway, Nicholas wanted to talk to Elizabeth about their kiss or whatever. And Elizabeth was like, she don't even want to remember about that. She don't even want to remember that it happened. She don't want to talk about it. She's going through a lot, period. Especially with her job being in jeopardy now. She was demoted and whatnot. She got a lot on her mind. And Nicholas is not one of those things on her mind right now. So Ava was calling Nicholas to let him know that she wasn't going to be home for a few days. Not that he cares. But she didn't mention that she'll be with Avery or whatever. Nicholas is always plotting and scheming. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nicholas is definitely plotting to get his fortune back and leave Ava in the dust. He's definitely plotting. He's trying to get this thing up and going. But I have a feeling, though, things are not going to go as Nicholas thinks they're going to go. They're not going to go as planned. They never do. So anyway, Ned runs into Lucy and Sasha. They were having a meeting about deception, and Ned just basically went off on Lucy because he was pissed at her for voting with Valentine to not help the hospital and to vote Michael out as CEO of the company. I mean, it's not something Lucy wanted to do, but at the end of the day, I kind of can't blame her because she has to go on the side where her bread is buttered, and that side is Valentine right now. Because when she was running around trying to get investors and funding for deception, nobody in that town wanted to invest in her company. The only person who did really was Valentine. So right now her loyalty lies with him. So, I can't say that I blame her. But Ned sees it as her being a traitor, talking about how the Quartermain family always supported her, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, Ned, well, if y'all wanted to support her when she came to all y'all for funding, y'all could have funded it. But y'all didn't want to. So at the end of the day, she did what she had to do from a business perspective. You know what I'm saying? This was not personal. And, I was a little disappointed with Lucy for voting with Valentine. But from a business standpoint, I totally understand why she did it. You know what I'm saying? This was not a personal attack on the Quartermains. This was not a personal agenda. This was a business agenda. And you have to go where the wind blows. And I don't blame her. She was passionate about her company. Valentine was the only big money investor who was willing to put in a boatload of cash to, bring her company back to life. And she went with what she had to go with. And I can't say I'm mad at that. You got to do what you got to do to put, money in your pocket and food on your table. So I can't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm disappointed, but I'm not mad. Business is business at the end of the day. So he basically, called her all types of traitors and talking about, you know, talking about she's a traitor to Edward, and Lucy basically was like, you know, she felt Edward would have supported her, probably. But at the end of the day, Ned did try to apologize to her or whatever, because Ned, I think, it's just a lot boiling up in Ned right now. Problems with ELQ, problems in his marriage, Brooklyn not speaking to him. You know, it's all just boiling to the surface for him at this point. Like, he's just getting it from all ends at this point in time. So, trust me, Ned would lash out at a billy goat at this point. He just got a lot on his mind, clearly. So Ned was complaining to Sasha or whatever about Brooklyn not talking to him. So Sasha offered to be like a go-between between him and Brooklyn to try to bridge the gap, basically. I hope, and I sincerely hope, that Ned don't start trying to creep around with Sasha. I know she a pretty little young thing and all, but hopefully nothing comes of that. Hopefully not. So anyway, Olivia is in Monte Carlo with Robert. And Robert found out that the call from Holly came from a casino. And guess who the former owner of that casino is, or was? Damn Cassandra Pierce. I freaking love Cassandra Pierce. Let me tell you something. Cassandra has all the makings of being a modern day Helena Cassidy. Will she ever be as fierce and good as Helena? No, because can't nobody ever replace the Queen Bee. But she's a close second. I would take Cassandra as the new modern day villain. I would take her as a new villainess. I would take her. I love me some Cassandra. I love it. She got that fierceness, that swag. She's evil. I need her to kick it up a notch, though. If Cassandra's still alive, I need her to kick it up a notch and be like cold-blooded. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I need her to be. Like, I need her to be Helena cold. Like, Helena would put a dagger to her own grandchild throat. That's the type of cold I need her to be. If she's still alive and they decide to bring her back, which I think they will at some point, I need her to be that ruthless. Like, I need her to be just cold-blooded. I wonder what Cassandra Pierce has to do with all this. Like, is Cassandra involved in this Holly scheme? And that's what I'm wondering. So Robert planned on being the OG that he is. Robert plans on going in alone and unarmed, which I think might be a little crazy. But, you know, Robert, he just don't give a damn. He from the old school, so you know him. He ride or die. So Olivia basically said that she was going to go in with him. I said, okay. Okay, Olivia, you trying to be bad? I mean, Olivia is from Bensonhurst, so I'm not even surprised that she got balls, you know. Like, she got moxie, and I'm not surprised, you know. Chick from Bensonhurst, you know, she from the hood. You know, she from the block, so she know how to handle herself. This might be a little bit too dangerous for her, but I digress. So she was planning on causing a diversion for him. But Robert, you know, told her that if it's necessary to get out of there without Robert, don't worry about him, don't nothing. But if things get a little hairy, get the hell on up out of there. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Just get the running. So Olivia leaves a voicemail for Ned. That she wasn't gonna come home for another couple of days. That she was gonna be gone for a few more days. I just don't see nothing good coming out of this. I don't. I feel like this is just the beginning of the end to Ned and Olivia's marriage. I hope not, but I just got that feeling like their marriage is not gonna stand the test of time. I don't think it will. So Ned went to the hospital to see Brooklyn, and Brooklyn was still not trying to talk to him. So when Ned left the room, Brooklyn saw his phone and listened to Olivia's voicemail. I have a feeling Brooklyn she's going to delete that voicemail. I have a feeling she's definitely going to play games, delete that voicemail, so that way it builds up even more issues in Ned's marriage. Because Ned's going to be pissed that he feels like, oh, Olivia hasn't contacted him even though she has, but he's going to think that she hasn't because of Brooklyn. That's shiesty. to mess with that man's marriage. Even though their marriage has been on the rocks for some time now, but it's like, damn, that's just putting the final nail in the coffin of that marriage. So basically, moving on from that, Nina and Jax are still in New York. They're at Ryan's pub or whatever, talking about the necklace, and Nina mentioned how Silas worked at the hospital across the street from the pub when he started his affair with Ava. And, you know, Nina basically was telling Jax how she forgave Ava and moved on, and, you know, she made peace. But she blamed her mother, though. She's still pissed at Madeline. Even though Madeline's dead, she's still pissed at her because Madeline cost her 20 years of her life, you know, because of that coma. Like, she cost her 20 years. And it's so much time away from the child that she don't even know where she is, you know? I feel bad for Nina. Losing 2 decades of your life, I couldn't imagine that shit. And I don't want to imagine, to be honest with you. But I really don't. I just wish that they would speed it up with this whole who's your child situation with Nina. I just wish they would speed it up. Move it along. Because it's been dragging for some time now. It's like, come on. Like, let's just get it out in the open. Get it over with. So, basically, Jason, he sits and talks with Mike. The Mike scenes are sad. It's hard to watch those scenes. Michael went to the hospital to pick up Brooklyn to take her to the hospital to spend some time with Mike. Mike was sitting there talking to his grandfather and stuff like that. Basically having like flash forwards, how Jocelyn did it. Michael was having flash forwards of Mike being around in the future to spend more time with Wiley and stuff. It was nice, but you could definitely notice that Christina should have been there. I don't know if she's out filming a movie, like if Lexi is out filming a movie or not, but I wish Christina was there, though. I heard she was filming a movie or something like that. But I just wish that she could have been there. You know what I mean? Because this is definitely a scene where Christina should have been inserted. I'm just saying. It would have been dope. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought, and I will see y'all all later. Have a good night. Peace.